not going to have anything else to say, but I want to thank you. Our superintendent here also, Mr. Lee. You might want to have a few words, but I just want to say thank you all. And you know, the hard work that you have put in over the summer up until this point has paid off. And it pays off. And, you know, the moment that you won the North half, you went down in history for Aberdeen High School as well as Aberdeen Community. So you will make history on Saturday. Thank you.
I also want to second what Mr. Holmes has said. I want to thank the merchants of Aberdeen. I want to say to the guys that I remember when you were 4th and 5th graders, when I was the principal at the middle school. One of the things we talked about was, and we really stressed, was setting goals and working toward those goals. I want to commend you, because I know at the beginning of the season, your focus was on getting to Jackson. But it is not over. We want you to come back champions. I know that your focus is now on that. So continue to work hard. I commend you for what you've done. I want to compliment and thank Coach Duncan and the coaches for how they have represented Aberdeen.
That's right.
It is a great day to be a Bulldog.
Sure
I got a letter, I think it was I got it Monday from the folks at ICC. Our coaches and our team visited ICC. And they wrote and talked about how good of a group this was. A large group like this, and how they represented Aberdeen and how we needed to be proud. I sent this letter out, I scanned it and sent it district-wide. I wanted everybody to know what kind of team we have, what type of coaches, administration at Aberdeen High School. So I want to commend you, and again, I want to thank all of you for what you've done for us today. So good job, guys. Go Bulldogs.
Yes.
Gentlemen, I want to share with y'all a couple of items. One in particular, I've already voted for Mr. Bulldog for this ball club. And let me give you a little quick, I'm trying to make this real quick. I was talking to Boris Carter. He was in after we did a pregame show. And he was talking about, I told you, Boris, how proud I was of him. Younger, when he was in the 9th grade, I thought that was going to be a starting running back for us, and the next year he came out and he wasn't a starter. A young man came along by the name of Mr. Love. So Jabaris went over to defense and played a great game of defense. And I've enjoyed watching that young man play, thinking, and I thought at first he would be a running back or a starter for the Bulldogs. But thank goodness we had Mr. Love to come on the scene, who's brought some great memories to Aberdeen High School. But the point I'm making is Jabaris went from that position on running the football, he gave it all he had, responsibility and commitment, played a great defense. And I was just telling Jabaris I enjoyed watching him play over the years. I made a comment to him. I know your family has enjoyed watching you too. And he said something to me that really caught my attention. He said, well, Mr. Henry, my grandfather and grandmother, I wanted him to come watch me, but they've not been able to come. I said, was your grandfather sick? He said, no, sir. He said he stays at home with my grandmother. She has Alzheimer's. And that touched me. That touched me for a man who, because see, I'm a granddaddy. And I know how it is to go watch your grandchildren play ball, because I don't miss a game. When they're playing, I'm there. And that shows me a man with commitment and responsibility. The Lord has told us all we should have that. And that spoke volumes for me. I know how Mr. Willie Carter would love to have seen every game. He didn't miss a game last year because Mrs. Carter was much better and could come to games. But he stayed at home, taking care of her. He dresses her. He does everything for Jabaris's grandmother. So he hadn't been to a game this year. I called him yesterday. I asked Jabaris. I called him yesterday. And I said, how about going to Jackson? He said, no, I better stay here with Mama. Take care of her. So I convinced him to go to Jackson. So I'm picking him up Saturday morning at 6:30 and he's gonna get to see his grandson play, and he's gonna get to see the Aberdeen football team play. Reason I'm telling you this is commitment and using responsibility. A few years ago, our basketball team went on a state, we were in the North Half playoffs. Kids went away, got in some trouble that night while they were away, didn't take responsibility, didn't get to play in that game. Gentlemen, I know the character of this ball club, just like Mr. We were talking about the letter from ICC. And I've said so on the radio. When we were at Pontotoc, y'all ate at the Red Rooster. The owner of that, when I paid that check from the Touchdown Club, he told me, he said, Mr. Hammock, I want to tell you, I fed a lot of kids here, football teams, basketball teams. He said, I've never met a finer group than your kids at Aberdeen High School. Gentlemen, I went in from there very proud of knowing the job that you guys, how you represent this city when y'all go out of town, just like you did at Fulton, just like you did at Pontotoc. I didn't ask for that comment. He shared that with me. That shows me one thing. Coaches and their staff, how they care for y'all and the integrity and the character they've been teaching this ball club. I love every one of you. I share that with this community all the time. This community thinks the world of you. But keep in mind what these coaches have taught you guys. It'll carry you for life. Many of y'all will play ball further on. Some of you will not. But the lessons you've learned from this coaching staff, those guys have spent so many hours, fellas, of preparing games and then sharing that with you. Because, yes, they love football, but this coaching staff, as you well know yourselves, they love you guys, just like I care for you. So just as I remind you, as y'all go to Jackson, you're going to be down there early. Just do the things you have been doing. Take responsibility, commitment prior to the game, and do that during that ball game. When you hit that field, you go on that field knowing you're going to win that football game. And that's the attitude I think this coaching staff have taught y'all. Y'all bought into it, you believe it, and that's why we're going to come back. We're champions before we leave. We're not champions whether we win or lose. And just like after the Louisville game last year, I said I would not trade my young'uns for a South Panola Ball Club, for Louisville, for anybody. You guys are tops. So I want you to continue that and give the attention you get down there to Jackson. Listen to these men. They just have the best interest, not only for teaching you football, but they're giving you lessons that all of you guys, as you grow up, you're going to be better daddies, you're going to be better husbands, you're going to be better men for this community to represent Aberdeen, and we hope you stay here. You're going to be better because you've been under this program. And I just commend Coach Duncan and every one of these coaches, fella. They love you, they're committed to you, and you just remember to have that same commitment to them as you've shown all during the year. I'm proud of you. I really am. And I will tell you, Mr. Willie Carter and I are going to have us a great time come Saturday going to that ball game. We're going to take good care of Mr. Willie. I'm going to make sure he eats plenty, and then y'all show him a great win Saturday.